9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, what's up, fam? Welcome back to this episode of 49 Faithfully. We're your hosts, Miriah Lee and Teran Lewis. TL, what's up? How you doing?
What up? Doing amazing. How about you?
I'm hanging in there, hanging in there. Chat, what's up? Happy Wednesday. We got BC first in the building. What's up, Bryant? Throwback. Appreciate you. Got Dawn in the house. Melissa, what's up?
Go blue. There you go. Appreciate that, Izzy.
Um, Before we get started, I want to just give a shout out to my wife. It's my wedding anniversary today, so I want to say happy anniversary to you. I love you more than anything, and here's to many, many more great years. So
Congratulations.
yeah, appreciate it.
How many years, if you don't mind me asking? Don't hope I
Now
hope I
you
put
got
you on the
me in
spot
trouble.
there.
Yeah, I got to count. I think 6 married.
6 years. Okay. Okay. 2017.
No, actually 8. 8.
2015.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, somehow we've been trucking along, making it. Hey, Dina, good to see you. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody else in here. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. What's up, Rob? I see you. Hey, Miss Debbie. Thank you so much. All right. So it was a great Thanksgiving, I'm guessing, especially for the portion of, 49ers eating turkey legs on the Seahawks sideline and all that good stuff. I haven't talked to you about it or anything, so let me know. There's a lot of emotion for the faithful, I think, in this game. There's, for the players, but I think more so for the faithful because we were all around the last time it happened. None of those players were there, So yeah, how are you just overall feeling about that game?
This is an absolute great thing because I had this as when preseason I had this as one of our losses. So the fact that we came away with a W and a convincing W on top of that, it's a great thing. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but us playing them the way we did, and looking at the rest of our schedule, we could sweep our division. You know, we just I don't know, just after this, and it's funny too because I feel like our bye week came at a great time. We made that trade, and then I feel like ever since we've gotten Trent Williams back, Debo back, and now getting Chase Young, I feel like we got like a rejuvenation. You know what I mean? Like everybody's just rejuvenated. Like man, like we feel like they have all our pieces together. We got a great another pass rush. So yeah, this you know like we said in week 5, this 49er team is rolling on all cylinders right now, and
Yeah.
they look good. So yeah, this win was awesome. Anytime we can beat, you know, anybody is a great thing, but Seahawks and Cowboys are two of my teams I hate the most. So
Mm-hmm.
anytime we can get a W against those two teams, it's a great thing in my opinion. I don't care if it's a blowout or by a point. Like us beating them is always something I circle on my calendar. Like man, I want to
Mm-hmm.
just dominate these dudes. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, this game, the Seahawks game, and then this game coming up, the Philly game, are definitely two games that I circled on the calendar before once the schedule came out. And like you said, the 49ers, they dominated, obviously the score 31-13, but they dominated from the second the whistle blew. I felt like they were in control of that game from start to finish. Like the Seahawks, defensive players are getting benched halfway through the game. Like that's how bad they're doing. Like it was just crazy. Let's talk a little bit about obviously this game was like a week ago now, so we don't need to spend too much time on it, but let's give some shouts out to the players of the games. I'll start off with obviously CMC. Goes without saying. I feel like we could say that every single week. But he is up for, I think he won actually the FedEx ground player of the week again, but he's been up for, I feel like, I'm
Almost
just
every week.
guessing, but yeah, I want to say like 6 times already, I feel like.
Yeah.
But yeah, 19 carries for 114 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then he had 5 catches for 25 yards. He was averaging 6 yards a carry. Like, I don't think you can ask any more than, like he's just such a, like that was something like that trade to get CMC. That's something that all the faithful should have been thankful for this Thanksgiving and all year through, because man, like to think back and remember that people were saying, oh, that trade, like I can't believe the 49ers gave up so much for it. Like they were grading it like all these bad grades, the national media and all this shit, right? And he's been everything to this team since
Sure
we
has.
traded it. Like I think Shanahan, like CMC's Shanahan's like perfect. Like, if I always say about the wide receiver, like Ayuk's like Shanahan's molded wide receiver. Like I feel like if Shanahan were to go in the lab and just create an offensive weapon, like it would be CMC.
Hmm. And yeah, I don't think, and this player I'm going to mention is not that good as CMC, but I think the way we use CMC is what Kyle envisioned when he picked up Jerick McKinnon in free agency. He expected that
Yeah.
type of playmaking ability, catching out of the backfield, being able to get snaps behind the line of scrimmages and stuff like that. But yeah, I agree. I always say, I'm glad we got CMC, but I feel like it was always 6 years too late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I mentioned before, like during that first draft, he was one of the guys I wanted the most. Even though having the top 3 pick, because as we can see, I never saw him as just a running back. He's a playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you can get a playmaker of that caliber on your hands, you make the best of it. So I'm just glad that he finally had a chance to come to this team. And yeah, people were saying, oh, CMC, I think he's washed and he's been injury prone these last few years, and he's a shell of himself since he had that 2,000-yard all-purpose season, and he's on par for that now. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? To get 2,000 yards. So yeah, I'm just glad that we got him. You know, like I said, never too late. He's on our team now, and like you just said, he's the perfect running back for Kyle's system. He loves those kind of running backs that are versatile. Like I can't remember, like Devontae Freeman, like he had on
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta.
Yep.
Same type of running back that can do everything on the field. So yeah, he's everything to this offense. And I'm not taking nothing from Purdy, but I'm just saying, without CMC, this offense does not run the same, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course. I
Yeah.
The thing came out earlier that I saw CMC 61 yards away from having 1K rushing yard season. And the Niners haven't had a 1K rusher since 2014 with Gore.
Mm.
Like that's how long it's been.
Wow.
Like we've been needing this. Like, man. Let me say what's up to a few people that I saw. Let me go back up here. We got Joel in the house. What's up? Hope you're doing well. We have Collie. What's up, my guy? Hope you're good. He said hi to both of us, not just
What up,
me.
Collie?
um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Richmond McKinnon for sure.
I'm still pissed about McKinnon, like that he's gone to Kansas City and all of a sudden he knows how to play again.
Yeah.
Like he's a captain over there and like all this shit. And it's like, how was it every single second that you were on this team, you were hurt? And yet, as soon as you go to Kansas City, all of a sudden your legs work again. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
the dead legs came back to life. Like, that's crazy. BA is 119 receiving yards away from 1K.
I say the next 2 games he'll get that.
I hope this game he gets it.
No, I hope he does too. Darius Slay's gonna have to bring his lunch.
Did you give your stars?
No, not yet. We're talking about
Okay.
CMC.
Right.
My star, I think I'm gonna give it to Debo. Debo was kind of all over the place. I think he had like 4 carries, and then he also had like 7 catches. He
Yeah.
was like doing a little bit of everything. We always say we got the best 2 all around weapons. In football on one team, which is crazy. They both can play running back and receiver effectively. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Debo on offense. And you started off with the offense, so I'll start off with the defense and go back to you. I'm gonna give it to Charvarius Ward. Played really solid. Had 3 pass deflections, I believe. Didn't allow a lot of yards. He's been taking a lot of heat all season. With some of the penalties and all this other stuff. But yeah, I think he played a good game. We always talk about our weapons. Like I know they didn't have Kenneth Walker, but the Seahawks ain't nothing to sneeze at either. With Tyler
Mhm.
Lockett, DK Metcalf, and Jackson Smith Nigba. Like they got some weapons. You know what I mean? So yeah, the fact that we only, and the score is kind of deceiving because the only reason why they got 13 was because that pick six. Like we really only limited the offense to 7 points. So yeah, you love to see it. Yeah, our defense as a whole played well, but yeah, I'm gonna give it to
Mhm.
Charvarius Ward on defense.
Yeah, I had a combo with Charvarius Ward and Ambry because together they like shut down their receiving core. Ambry had an interception, 2 passes defend. Charvarius Ward had 3 passes defended, and it's like they near perfect. Like I was so scared when Gino would drop back the throw, and I'm like, please don't get a freaking pass interference. Like that's all I'm thinking the whole time the ball's in the air. Like, oh my gosh, like please don't freaking panic and grab him or do something stupid. Please, please, please. Like that's all I'm freaking worried about the whole time. I swear. And they did great that game. Like man. And like you said, and to see Charvarius Ward is so funny when he's guarding DK because DK is huge. He's like twice the size of Charvarius Ward, and Charvarius Ward's right there with him. Like man, that guy has some hops to be able to freaking
Yeah.
like get his hand up to like block the ball and shit to have stop that guy from catching it. Like it's crazy. So yeah, but like you said, the whole defense did great. The defensive line, like such a difference now that we have Chase Young. I think we've had 15, I want to say 15 sacks in the last 3 games. And prior to that, we couldn't buy a sack. Like,
Man.
It was crazy. And this game we had 5 sacks. Bosa had 2 himself. Hardgrave had a sack and a half. It's like, man, the defense is finally clicking on all cylinders. But talking about that, I want to kind of get your thoughts on Steve Wilks. And I talked about this with the guys last night because, going into the bye, there was a large portion of the fan base that was already ready to give up on Steve Wilks, wanted Steve Wilks fired. Like, no, like this, the guy's first time, coming to this team. It's not like he got promoted on the team. He had to learn the defense, learn his players. He got his star pass rusher week 1 of the season.
Yeah.
All this shit. And yet people are ready to fire him, like already. And, they came out and going into the bye or coming out of it, he had said, like, I'm built for this. Like, I have confidence in players and I have confidence in myself that, we're going to turn this around. And coming out of the bye, I think, man, that defense has looked damn good. So I want to just get your thoughts on Steve Wilks and kind of the job that he's done.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, he was catching unnecessary strays. Yeah, he struggled, but people forget when Salo was here, he struggled for a little bit. D'Amico Ryan's I remember D'Amico Ryan's first like 6-7 games. People were like, "Oh, I want Sala back. Sala back." Like, come on, man, you got to give people a chance. And like you said, Sala and D'Amico Ryan's, I'll say even more. He pretty much started off from like the ground up. You know what I mean? Went from being quality control to the linebackers coach. So he got to know these players up close and personal for a couple of years before he got promoted. So, like you said, Steve Wilkes coming into a scheme where he had to learn the players, and like we said, it was no excuse. Like I get it. Nick Bosa wanted to get his bag, but him not being there affected stuff all preseason. You know what I mean? Like you can't get into a rhythm and get some chemistry going on when your best player on defense isn't showing up. You know what I mean? So when you have that situation, I mean, yeah, he had a bad stretch of 3 games, and like I said, I'm not comparing Steve Wilkes to Kyle Shanahan, but it was just crazy to me how Steve Wilkes was catching all this heat for that 3-game skid, but not Kyle. You know what I'm saying? Like they wanted him gone and all this other stuff. But I'll read you the stat, through 13 weeks. Going into week 13, 49ers are number 1 in points allowed with 15.5 points per game. Okay. We're number 1 in interceptions with 15. And then we're number 9 in sacks with 33. So he's top 10 in 3 major categories. Yeah. So for him to just catch it, I mean, people, it's funny, man. We're all in what have you done for me now lately mentality. Like this fan base is now not just Niner fans. 49er fan bases are just so impatient. Like, it's just funny. It's funny the roller coaster ride of emotions that fans get. Like one week it's, oh, this person is a beast, blah, blah, blah. He can have a good game and he's a beast. The next game, bench him. He's trash. Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's comical how some of the fan base acts sometime in all sports, basketball, football, wherever the case may be. It's like it's like a meltdown when you have a bad game, but then like they want to put you on a pedestal when you have a good game. Like
Yeah.
let stuff play out. So yeah, I was always on the thing like, hey, we're just struggling as a team right now, and not just the defense. But I agree with Collie here, and I've said this before, and I keep saying it. Some players are just it's what they're used to sometimes. Since Kyle's been there, his D coordinator's been on the sidelines. Steve Wilk was
Hmm.
up in the booth, so maybe that's not how they operate. Some players need that up close and personal talk, like, "Hey, coach, I need this, I need that." Not getting on a headset and, "Hey, coach, what about this? What about that?" No, like he's on the sidelines. He looks, the team looks a little bit happier now, so maybe that's all what was needed. Also, with the getting Chase Young helps. I'm sorry, like that helps. Care what nobody says. Getting Chase Young has now rejuvenated this defense. Where now we're looking good. Like I said, he's top 10. He's top three and number one in two categories in points allowed per game and only 15. And then you have like I said, number one in interceptions. You know what I mean? And this
Yeah.
is what the a struggling pass rush for weeks. And usually, and we know, your secondary is usually not is only as good as your pass rush. They make the secondary's job a lot easier. So when we were struggling to get to the quarterback and get sacks, we were still getting interceptions. So I want to give kudos to Steve Wilkes. The unnecessary strays of, oh, he should be fired, let's get rid of him, and all this stuff. Like Collie said, prisoner of the moment. Like we need to chill out sometimes and let things play out. Now, if he went all season, that's a different conversation. But like I said, we seen D'Amico Ryan struggle, and then he finally found a rhythm, got it together, and now we're seeing it now with Steve Wilkes. But I'm glad that for the fact that now he's on the sidelines and actually having an up close and personal relationship with the team, because as a person like me who played defense, I love to just go take a couple steps a few feet over to talk to my coach and not worried
Yeah.
about him being in the booth. Hey coach, hey, I'm seeing something on the left side, the weak side is doing this, and I see an opportunity to create sacks here, whatever the case may be. Like you want that to be able to talk to them that fast. So yeah, that's what I'll say about Steve Wilkes.
Love it. Love it.
Yep.
What's up, Jess? I see you. Jason, what's good? Steve-O, what up? 49ers Jive, I see you. 2 days in a row. He's back. He's back. Ryan, what's good? I think if I missed you, I apologize, but I think that's everybody I've seen in the chat so far. Jess said she's calling you out right here. She says Kyle caught heat too. The fire Kyle people are always out because it had to do with the defense. Who's in charge of the defense? Wilkes.
And there's a possibility your timeline could be a lot different than mine. And I'm not just talking about Twitter. I'm talking about just in general. I talked to a lot of Niner fans off of social media, and Steve Wilkes was catching heat from them too. Oh, the defense just sucks. And I'm just like, how can you just blame the defense when we went from scoring 32 points a game to 17 in 3 weeks? So how is it just Steve Wilkes? You know what I mean? So yeah, like I said, we follow different people. Sometimes people's timelines are different. There was only maybe a couple people we're calling out Kyle, but nobody wanted to fire him from what I saw. I'm not saying what you saw is false. What I saw, nobody would say fire him. It was more of like, hey, Steve Wilkes, let's get rid of him and fire him and all this other stuff. So yeah, that's what I got to say about that.
What's up, Rod? Appreciate you coming through. She said the timeline definitely is different. I've muted a bunch, but they keep coming out.
Yeah.
Mute definitely makes Twitter much more pleasurable.
Yeah. It's rare that I mute and block people though. Like
Yeah, me too.
you have to really. I mean, even then, I don't know. Like I call them just a bunch of keyboard warriors, but I don't. If people are gonna come out here and say fire Kyle, that's on them. Like I'm not gonna mute you for saying that. As long as you're not being disrespectful, we're all fans of our own. We have our own reasons why we're a fan. We see things different. If you want Kyle fired, fine. Like that, I'm not gonna be pissed off at you about that. That's your opinion. But yeah, but I just like I said, from what I saw, it was just a lot of hate on Steve Wilkes, and I felt like Nick Bosa and the D line were getting a pass. They should have been called out too. Like I said, we've talked about this, Mariah, where it's like you had. I mean, now we got four awesome people on the D line, but at first, even when you have Armstead, Javon Hargrave, and you have Nick Bosa, if there's somebody on there having a one-on-one every single play. So if it's 100, so if you have two people on Nick Bosa, two people on Hargrave, why isn't Armstead beating his man one-on-one, or vice versa? Why isn't Hargrave beating his man one-on-one? So I feel like they weren't catching enough heat, in my opinion. They should have caught more heat than Steve Wilkes. That's almost what, $80 million defensive line. That's without Chase Young.
Yeah.
And nobody was getting sacks. That's unacceptable.
Yeah. And I agree, Melissa. We talked about this last night on the show too, how much, these guys like Ambry, there was a point where we didn't even think he was going to make the team, and now he's starting corner and, holding his own, like doing a damn good job. Like he has his confidence back, and it's like we've seen that, I think, a step up in all the DBs since Wilkes been there. And that's something that we needed, because I felt like that was always the lacking group. It was like, okay, stack up the defense, the D line. Obviously we know about our linebackers, but then it was kind of like, okay, we'll just let the, back end go to shit. And now we finally have somebody that specializes in that. And I think we're seeing that, but yeah, that too about Hufanga going down, and obviously we saw Brown come in, when Hufanga went out, but that was just a few plays that he had to come in. Nobody knew how he's going to do starting, and
for sure.
Like I said yesterday, we went that game without ever really hearing his name, so, if you're not hearing his name, he wasn't doing anything wrong, right? Like,
exactly.
He was out there doing what he needed to do, holding his own. He wasn't making stupid penalties. He wasn't getting burnt. Like, and this defense, that's huge. Like, Huff's play may be up and down, but it's like he was a Pro Bowler last year, all pro, it's like, and to have him go out and the defense not even skip a beat, like, I think that's huge.
Yeah, that's funny how you say that, Mariah. It's like, yeah, like you didn't hear his name, and usually when you hear nobody's name, it's for a good reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And never forget the saying when I first went to boot camp. They told us, if I know you, because we're in a group with like 80 people, and the RDCs always told us, if I know your name is for two reasons, you're either a warrior or you're a piece of crap. It's either or. And if I don't hear your name, you're flying under the radar and you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. So yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
Let me see. I see people saying, oh, there she is. Hey, Tanya. Prayers out to your grandson. He's in my thoughts and prayers. He's sick in the hospital, so make sure that we keep them, Tanya's family, in our thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely.
Hey, Donald. All right, so get your numbers in. We're going to do 2 sets. We're going to do this halfway point, and we're going to draw the winners. We got Jake Moody and Nick Bosa. And then once we get towards the end of the show, I'll have you guys enter your numbers again. And from those numbers, we'll close out the show with a Debo, CMC, and Jerry Rice.
Very nice.
So yeah, get your numbers in. We'll draw both winners right now out of these numbers. So you'll only have to enter your numbers once right now.
Cool. Yeah, Mariah, you're right about Ambry Thomas. I think it's one of those things where I feel like he's getting his confidence back. Because you can tell last year he lacked that tremendously. But now I feel like he's getting more comfortable. He's going back to kind of the form he has a rookie playing, at the end of the season, where he was, doing a good job on Odell Beckham and, stuff like that. And, they saw something in him. He was a 3rd round pick. They saw something in him. And we've been talking about how some of these 3rd round picks have been terrible, other than Fred Warner. So yeah, hopefully, he turns it around and, he can make an impact on this team, in the present and also going forward,
Yeah. What's up, Quincy? Yeah, Ryan. Also, Corey Davis, those that know him, he's also 49ers content creator, is in the hospital right now as well. So we need to keep him and Tanya's family in our prayers.
Is Corey Davis the one that gets on the show with Jess? Or is that somebody
Probably.
else? That sounds familiar to me.
He does a show with Ryan, with Bryant, with all them.
Oh, okay. I think I know who he is. Okay.
All right. So yes, get those numbers in 1 through 100. No duplicates. We're gonna draw that shortly, and then we're gonna get into this Eagles game because, that's the fun going on right now. With the defense, coming out of the bye, with the defense and Steve Wilkes and the offense back to putting up 30 points, everything seems to be rolling. Do you have more confidence in this team? And of course, I know it's only 1 week at a time, whatever.
Yeah.
But do you have more confidence that this team now can be able to actually make it to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl? Because I think for a while, it's like, yeah, the offense is carrying this team, but if the defense can't stop anybody, we're going to be in shootouts. Are we going to be able to win a shootout against Mahomes? But now our defense is back to being dominant. So, do you have more confidence in the team now? Do you think that this is like, considering what teams, we know the Eagles where they're standing right now, like considering the top teams of the NFC, like, do you have confidence that we can be able to go there and take care of business?
Yeah, I think to be honest here, no disrespect to Detroit, because I feel like Dan Campbell has some guys playing very good football, at 8-3 or wherever their record is, 9-3. But only team that really I fear on the NFC are the Eagles. I feel like and then I know we've dominated the Cowboys, like the last 2 playoffs and even the regular season. They're even a different team right now. Like, they're just playing different. So I'm never going to overlook anybody, because the simple fact that, weeks 6 to 8 were just horrendous. And I feel like, we always shoot ourselves in the foot with these early season unnecessary losses. But yeah, so my confidence is pretty equal to what it was after week 5. After we beat the Cowboys 42-10, my confidence is where it used to be, where it was back then, where like everything is working on all cylinders. We have everybody healthy except for Hufanga, obviously. Like, it sucks, but like, we're going back to scoring our 30 points a game, and the defense is
And George
only allowing.
Odom.
And George Odom, yeah, we're only allowing like 2 scores a game. Like, like I said, we're number 1 in the NFL in points per game allowed. We're only allowing 15.5 points per game, so that's only 2 touchdowns and a couple extra points a game. That's really good football when you're putting up 30. But I think what more has me confident is now Brock Purdy is showing more that he can beat you deep. So that opens up the offense even more. Like, everybody was always like, trying to cover the middle of the field, because, we always had, routes that were open underneath, little crossers and stuff like that. But now that Ayuk and, we had back-to-back games when you had that deep ball to Kittle on the sidelines, and you had another one on the opposite side, the same one to Ayuk. So that's going to teach teams to play us differently. They can't just be like, oh, we're only going to play, we're going to just have our single high safety play back and have, the rest of the 10 defenders play up a little bit. No, you can't really do that anymore. So Brock Purdy is showing that, yeah, like, you think I'm going to just beat you over the middle and dink and dunk you. Now I'm showing you I can beat you deep with my weapons as well, that's all we've ever wanted. We've talked about so many times, Miriah, like, give me somebody who can beat you on every aspect of the field, not just in between the numbers, or whatever the case may be. The fact that he's attacking every area of the field is what makes me believe that this team has it in them right now. And everybody always asks me, do you think Brock Purdy's elite? No, I don't right now, but he's elite for what Kyle Shanahan wants. So that's what's important. He's elite for what Kyle needs. So the fact that he's doing everything he can and doing his best to run this scheme, long as we limit our turnovers and this defense is, we can get to the quarterback, as like you said, 15 sacks in 3 games is crazy. We can keep that up. I see no problem why we can't be holding number 6 this year.
I love it. I love it. What's up, Dion? I see you. Raymond, what's up? Got Paul in the house. What's up? All right, last call. Make sure you got your numbers in. We're going to draw the winners for Jake Moody and Nick Bosa. We will draw Bosa first, the number. So for Bosa is number 34.
Okay.
And then for Jake Moody is number 59.
Okay. You said 59, you said?
Yep, 34 and 59.
All right. Let me look here.
And then to end the show, we'll do it the same way. We'll have you guys enter your numbers again towards the end of the show, and then we'll draw Debo, CMC, and Jerry Rice from those ones.
All right. So Dion is the winner of the first card.
Bosa.
Yep. And let me see.
Got locked down, Bosa.
59. And it looks like second winner is Izzy with number 57.
All right. So this is Dion. And Melissa's. Got Moody. Moody been on a roll too.
He has.
The last month, like, man.
He hasn't missed since my birthday. since that Vikings game.
It's good.
Yeah.
Because that, like, I know a lot of people were worried about that. Like, if we're gonna have to get into a game and it comes down, we saw that happen. We lost the game because he missed the freaking game-winning field goal. It's like, down the stretch, we can't be having that happen. And it seems like he's, coming into his own now too.
I think the only criticism I'm seeing is his field goals have been less than 40 yards. So people are like, well, I need to see him kick something over 40 and in a high, situation where like it's going to win us the game and stuff like that. But I'm like, look, these kind of field goals he's making is going to build confidence. Like, you got to crawl before you walk. You know what I mean? You start off and now he's kicking these 32, 35, 37-yard field goals with confidence. Now it's like, okay, I can go in there and kick a 43-yarder. You know what I'm saying? So you're right. He's been on the roll. Like he's been 100%, since that Vikings game on extra points and field goals. So yeah, you love to see it.
Yeah. What's up, NY to the Bay? Appreciate you coming through. Good to see you. What's up, Chrissy? Appreciate y'all coming through. I see we got McNiner in the house as well. What's up? What's up? Yes, congratulations to the winners. Like I said, we'll draw a few more towards the end of the show. All right, let's get into the Eagles. I can't stand them. I can't stand their coach. I can't stand the players. I can't stand nothing about them. And it sucks because my family's from there and they're Eagles fans, if you didn't know. I saw Melissa ask, if my family's giving me shit. I don't really talk to them too much. My grandpa was the one that was the biggest Eagles fan, and he's passed away. It was his birthday today as well, the 29th. That's why me and my wife got married on the 29th, was because of him. But he was the big Eagles fan. So the others, they just say they're Eagles fans, and they'll watch the games. My mom's the Eagles fan, but they're not the ones, to come be giving me no shit about it. So the fans are, the fans, AJ Brown put out a tweet telling the Philly fans to troll Debo. And then the what the hell are they called? Our media people, they've been asking, the guys in the locker room, about the comments that they said last year and yada yada. And Debo said he don't regret nothing, but they pretty much are saying last year was last year, this is a new game. We want to go into this game just talking about this game, and still the reporters are just all asking them everything about the trash talking and about the tush push, those two things. There was a video that's put out, and seriously, the reporters are asking them nonstop about the defensive guys, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, and I want to say there was one more. I can't remember who it was. Hargrave, asking them about how they're going to stop the tush push, over and over and over. They would just reword the question and ask it a different way. And Nick Bosa kept saying, I haven't studied it yet. I don't know. And the next question, I haven't studied it yet. I don't know. The same exact answer. And they just kept asking and asking. they're so like built up in this tush push thing. Like it's crazy. So like I feel like, you know, there's a lot of emotion. We just got through this emotional game with the Seahawks, and now going, obviously we know, you know, what happened. Like the players can say, oh, you know, last year was last year, but everybody has that well in their head. You know, your season ended because of what happened last year. You know, Fred Warner's wife went to the game and got disrespected. You know, like all this shit, you know, happened, and now they have all the Eagles fans on Twitter trolling them. Like this game has to be a little bit more personal. Like I don't care what they're saying. So like I hope they really just freaking bring it all. Like I am so sick. Like we know, being on social media, like that narrative hasn't died. Like, oh, we ended your season, blah blah blah. Like they don't care that we didn't have a quarterback, because to them, oh well, we're the ones that took your quarterback out, so you know we should win the game and blah blah blah. You know, and it's just like I want nothing more than like, you guys finally got my Thanksgiving great. The Eagles they play on my birthday. My birthday's Sunday. And if we go into Philly and lose to the Eagles on my birthday, I swear I'm going to be crying. Like, I want nothing more than this guy to just go in there and this whole year's worth of shit talking and emotions and loss and everything, to go and put it out on the field and just beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
What you feeling going into this game?
I like this comment from 49ers Jive too. Like Chase Young's so familiar with that team, you know, being with the Commanders for, you know, pretty much his whole career turn now.
Well,
Like he
Hargrave
knows
was on the team.
Hargrave,
Shit.
yeah, then Hargrave, yeah. So you got Hargrave who was on the team. Then now you have Young, who's familiar with the team, you know, and how that offense works and stuff. So yeah, I know it's funny. I know they want to remain humble, but come on now, last season is still on your guys' mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Nick Sirianni
I mean,
kind
it
of said the
should
same
be
thing.
shit.
Yeah, Nick Sirianni said the same thing. Like, oh no, last year was last year. We're just going here. We know this is 2023. It's a new season. All this other stuff. Like everybody's
I
trying to
can't
remain
stand him.
humble. I know everybody said he has the most punchable face as a
Yeah.
coach behind Pete Carroll. They
I
said
think
Pete
he's
Carroll.
first.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think
It used to
people.
be Pete Carroll number one
Yeah,
for me. This guy took
yeah.
over.
I think Pete Carroll is more of the gum chewing. Like it's just so irritating how
Yeah.
fast that man chews his gum. Like you can see the veins popping out that man's head. Um, but yeah, it's um get your popcorn ready. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be physical. I feel like there's gonna be a couple scuffles where it's gonna be some penalties. Like it's gonna be interesting. Like they remember exactly what happened to Brock Purdy last year. They're
Mm-hmm.
pissed. Like, you know, they were the ones standing in the way of them getting to a Super Bowl. So yes, it's gonna be a movie. I can't wait to see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. I just, you know, I don't think Brock Purdy is gonna go in there with like, you know, PTSD, like, you know, every time he sees Hassan Reddick coming towards him. I hope he's not that. I feel like he's more battle tested to where he's like, I'm not worried about that man. You know what I mean? I just hope that he gets over that, and every time he sees him coming towards him, he's not like, oh crap, like this man's the one who
Mm-hmm.
really hurt my arm. But I just know one thing, Kyle, you better have somebody ready on that right side. You better have that right side epic where you have Kyle Juszczyk over there, somebody who can come in and help just in case he gets past our right tackle. Because man,
And if you're
you
using
know,
a tight end, let it be Kittle, please,
let
not
it be
the
Kittle, yeah, let it be
sixth
Kittle,
string.
and then let it be Kittle and McKivitz on that side, and I'd even put Kyle Juszczyk in the backfield just in case. Like Hassan, you know, I love me some Bosa, but let's not sleep on Hassan Reddick. I had
Mm-hmm.
tweeted like about probably 3 weeks ago, was Hassan Reddick on par with Nick Bosa, and oh, you crazy? Nick Bosa's way better. I don't see it that way. I don't see him being I mean, he's better, but I don't see him as like worlds better. Of like, oh, he's just way better than Hassan Reddick. No, Hassan Reddick, he has a bag too. So yeah, I just team, you know, team for team, we're the better team. I'm sorry. Like
Yeah.
we just have it. We just our 53-man roster is better than theirs, plain and simple. You know, as much as I hate the Eagles, I do love me some AJ Brown. He's a beast of a
Mm-hmm.
wide receiver. You know, he was one of the receivers I wanted us to draft when he was coming out. You know, unfortunately, we didn't get him. I mean, we ended up getting Debo instead, I
Mm-hmm.
believe. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, AJ Brown has been just an absolute monster. You know, so, I mean, his pretty much his whole career, especially the last 3 years. But yeah, I mean, Eagles are due for a loss. I'm sorry. Eagles are due for a loss.
Yeah, I mean, they've been playing. They haven't been playing great football. If you watch the games, like they've been coming away with wins, but like squeaking them out. Like this last one, the overtime win. Like but the product they're putting on the field looks way worse than what they looked last year.
Absolutely,
their defense looks worse. The offense looks worse. Like you said, they have the weapons on offense, and I'm really interested to see how our corners match up against their wide receivers, because we just mentioned that they did great with DK and Lockett, but I think that this is a step up on the wide receivers to have
for sure.
Both AJ and Smith. Like Smith's a little friggin' burner,
She's
so
fast, yeah.
If he gets behind the defense and Hurts is able to capitalize on it, have to think, Hurts is a better quarterback than Geno too, so
sure.
If he's able to capitalize on that, that could be scary, because they're not going to be able to catch him, so hopefully, I'm sure that I have confidence in him. Ambry's, I think, shown, that he can do it. Demo in the slot has seemed to work a lot better than what we were doing. I did want to talk about, though, we have some injuries. The injury report came out today, and a surprising one, not practicing, was Eric Armstead for a foot injury. Also, Jordan Mason with a hamstring injury, and Ray with a rib injury. None of them practiced. Burford was limited. So, I mean, we'll see tomorrow, if Eric practices or not. But, I mean, that's definitely one to watch. If he's not good to go for this game, like, who knows what even happened. I wasn't able to catch, the presser or anything, but that's definitely something to monitor, because if he's not there, that's
Javon Kinlaw going to step up. Jordan Mason, sucks that he's injured, but I mean the man don't really play anyway, as we know. I mean, Ray, he's a good playmaker out there, but I'm not really too worried about that, because Ronnie Bell, to me, is a beast. Like, I think he has it in him to step in and do exactly what Ray can do, if not more. I think he's a better. I mean, obviously Ray's a little bit. He's more poised and more seasoned stuff, but I love what Ronnie Bell brings to the table.
What's up, Snap?
So I don't know. For some reason, I mean, I don't know if you want to go into score predictions or wherever the case may be. You're going to hold off on that.
Wait for him.
I don't know. So this, I mean, and you just mentioned too, like the last 3 games, I think they had Dallas Cowboys, which had them on the ropes, but their time management was horrendous. Like they had the
ball. We
know
all about that.
I think I want to say they were like I think they were within the 10-yard line. I think they were like on the 5 or 6-yard line. Then they had a holding penalty. Then they had they kept going backwards. I'm like, what are you guys doing? You guys were right there to score a touchdown. You guys end up going back to like the 15, 16-yard line. Like their time management was terrible. And then they had penalties at the worst time. So Cowboys had them on the ropes. Like they could have won that game. And then you had the Chiefs game. If it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes throwing to me and you, he probably would have. The Eagles would have lost that game. Even with them all those drops and the receivers not playing well, they still had a chance to win if Valdez-Scantling would have caught that deep ball. Patrick Mahomes put it in a perfect spot where only he could catch it. And this man is 6'4". He's a big receiver. 6'4", had the ball in his hands. He drops it. And then, like you said, you had the Bills. The Bills took them to overtime, so their defense hasn't been playing well. Their offense has been doing their thing, but the defense has not been playing well, so they can be beat. And the fact that they've been squeaking by, they're due for a loss. They're due, So, like I feel like we got all our losses out the way, at a bad time or whatever the case may be. With the Eagles are due.
Yeah.
So,
we also had talked about this yesterday, is finally it seemed with Feliciano playing on the right side this last game, we were actually able to run to the right for once. Normally we have to run every run to the freaking left. And we, they're not able to do shit on the right side, but it seems like they were actually able to run to the right this game. Like I had mentioned earlier, Burford is, back limited in practice. But what do you think of the idea of them, doing that Feliciano Burford switch shit that Shanahan likes to do with Burford?
I don't like musical chairs at the offensive line
Yeah.
position. I like continuity. Like, you know what I mean? You have to have that continuity. I've always said it, and I've told you, and you know this, Murray. I've always said I feel like Spencer Burford is a natural tackle anyway. He's always looked better to me, when he's, I feel like he's better suited as a tackle. And I know when they drafted him, they named him a tackle, and he was a tackle in
Mhm.
college. But I'm not in the building, so they're gonna do what they feel is best. But um, yeah, I mean, if it's working, it sucks because you always, to me, I always feel like you shouldn't lose your position to injury, only to performance.
Well, they had
But
already said Shanahan
yeah.
already said before, um, he even got hurt that Feliciano, they had already wanted to start giving him reps because he already proved in practice that he should be starting.
hmm and I think you talked about this too when we signed him. He started like pretty much all 16 games, 17 games for the Giants,
Yep.
a year ago, and played in the playoff game that they were in. So he has that experience too. And I was like, I don't think he's coming in here to sit on the bench, even though he's been doing it most of the time. But he got his time when Banks got hurt, and then now, with Spencer Burford getting hurt. But I feel like he was one of the seasoned vets that we need. But and I
Mhm.
had predicted him to be the right guard and Burford to be the right tackle, and of course I was wrong. But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
He did good when he filled in on the left side
yeah,
too,
he filled in.
so
He filled in admirably for Banks. He played. He did, like you said. We ran to the right side. Without having to worry about, like, man, are they gonna get stuck behind the line of scrimmage? Are they gonna lose yards? So yeah, I like playing, whoever is hot, but and there's plus two playing against the Eagles in this pass rush. Him being on the right side might be huge if he's playing better than Spencer Burford, because that's the side Hassan Reddick likes to come off of. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Like, so yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to give it to them. I think they're going to do what's best for the team. And Spencer Burford, if you happen to get benched, you know, get better. That's all I got to say. Like, get no seriously. Like, you know, if they ask you, oh, I was going to put Feliciano because I feel like he's been balling or whatever the case may be. You have to just take it with a grain of salt and be like, okay, well, there's stuff I need to work on. Like, man up and just deal with it. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah, I don't know. This game is like, this is the most, other than that Cowboys game, is the game I wanted to watch the most. I couldn't wait for it. And I can't believe we're in week 13 already. I feel like
I
this
know,
NFL
it's
season is
crazy.
flying by.
Mhm.
It's crazy. So yeah, this game I had circled on the schedule, like, man, I cannot wait to play this game. So yeah. I don't know, Mariah. This is crazy.
Chat, get your numbers in, 1 through 100, so that we can draw. We'll draw from this set of numbers, the Debo, CMC, and Jerry Rice. So get your numbers in. We'll give you guys a few minutes to get them in, and then we'll draw those. Yeah, this game, man. Like Melissa had set up here, they are dealing with injuries. Lane Johnson's day to day. He had got hurt right before the game last week. He still played in the game, but they said he ended up, tweaking whatever it was that it was injured. So he came
I
out
was
of the
hurt.
game worse than what he went in. So
Mhm,
he's day to day. Fletcher Cox is also dealing with a groin injury.
mhm.
Um, Goddard, their tight end, has been out. He's not practicing still. So
Yeah.
um, I don't
Yeah.
know.
What I will say too, Mariah, is like, I've been seeing so much people on the timeline. Oh, Bills, you had one job. Cowboys, you had one job. All this other stuff. Chief, you know what? This is time for us to put our stamp on that and beat them. Like, if you don't go out and win this game on Sunday, don't sit here and cry about. I'm not talking about the team fans crying about. Oh, well, we need the Eagles to lose. I wish so and so to beat the Eagles. No, we need to go out there and take care of our own business.
Mm-hmm.
This is your time to be like, look, I'm on your heels. I beat you. I beat you this Sunday. You're only one game ahead of me, not two. So, take care of your own business. You control your own destiny.
Yep.
Don't go out there and lose any, go out there and lose any of these stupid games that you're not supposed to lose. Go out there and take care of business and put it hard on them. Make it to where Dallas is like, oh, okay, cool. Now the Niners beat you. Now I can beat you, and we
Mm-hmm.
can be tied for the division. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to put these teams on their heels to make them think a little bit and be like, man, like, so if we don't go out there and take care of business, it's nobody's fault but our own.
Yeah.
Because you want that number one seed, go out there and take it from them.
Yep. Like Tanya says too, don't be doing stupid shit. You know, the penalties. This last game against the Seahawks, finally we had, I think, only like 3 or 5 penalties somewhere. I think 3. But prior to that, the freaking penalties were crazy. So, you know, like you can't be going in there. You know, they're at home. We know what happened last time, right? Like can't challenge shit because they're not putting up the replays, and
Yep.
the refs have seen, everybody's been talking about the refs being on the Eagle side, all this shit. So don't go in there expecting things, you know, you get to get lucky and things that go your way. You got to go in there and freaking play near perfect football to be able to compete
And
against everything going on.
For sure. And Kyle, sometimes, listen to your players, man. Your players are on the field. I mean, I don't want to bring up last year, but as far as like you said, when Devontae Smith, when he caught that, when he dropped the ball, he didn't catch it. When he caught the ball, and he was like, "Come on, hurry up!" Like he was waiting for everybody. And Hufanga was the whole time like, he didn't catch it, and Kyle didn't challenge it, and then it hurt us. They ended up scoring a touchdown. So listen to your players. Sometimes Hufanga saw the ball hit the ground.
Yep.
And then, and I'm sorry, everybody knows as well as I do, when they're trying to hurry up offense in the first quarter like that, something is up.
We all knew from our couch.
Yeah, exactly. We knew from our couch. Hufunga's right there. He saw the ball not being caught, and he was a whole time like, no, he didn't catch it. Looking at our coaching staff, no, he didn't catch it. And no challenge. Like, those are the stupid things that we need to stop. Like, we need to just be like, you know what? I'm challenging that. Hufunga is a smart IQ guy. He saw what he saw. So yeah, you have to. We can't have these little mishaps where we're just like not taking advantage of every situation. This is the Eagles with the number 1 seed right now, 2 games ahead of us. Go in there, punch them in the mouth. Like I said about that Seahawks game, we need to go in there and shut that crowd up early. Let him, like, man, like 49ers brought their lunch today. They're up on us 14-0 in the second quarter. Like, man, like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Was it Izzy saying? Tia, which of our players you think get under their DB skin most? Oh, it's easily Jawan Jennings. I think it's Jawan Jennings, and it's not close.
It don't seem like he's on the field that much, though.
Yeah, I know, but when he's on there, he pisses them off. Like, he's just so like nonchalant with everything. He gets people to get flags and stuff. I think Jawan Jennings just gets under their skin.
And like Dina said, tackle. Yes, like missed tackles were so huge prior to, like, up until the bye, especially those 3-game losing streak. Like, man, so many missed tackles.
It's terrible.
But it seems like they're getting better. And I have to say, like, it seems like Brown, like, we know I love Hufanga, but sometimes his angles and his tackling, he's like hit or miss. Like, he'll like pursuit and go hard so fast that he ends up freaking missing the guy completely, and he goes running up the fucking field, So hopefully Brown has his tackling down. It seems all that I heard from him and coming out of college that's one of his strong things. So
yeah. And I think with Hufanga too, it's one of those things where you get taught early. It's like, it's nice to have the big hit every once in a while, but make the simple play.
Yeah,
just get the guy down to the ground. You don't have to always come with the hard hit to send a message. Like, make the simple play, live to play another down where they have to punt it, wherever the case may be. And I was like, especially if it's something like a 3rd and 7 or something, and you have the chance to make the easy tackle, but then you're trying to like take the ball out and try to make them fumble or trying to hit them hard. Like, no, just make the simple tackle and then make them punt. Like, you know what I mean? Just it's like I said, the simple plays. We can't have these mishaps where we're just, we're beating ourselves, stupid penalties, missing tackles, not catching the ball, whatever the case may be,
I agree. Last call. Get your numbers in.
And this is for 3 winners, right? You said this is for 3 cards? Okay.
We're picking all 3 winners out of this group of numbers. So make sure you have your numbers in.
For those of you putting your numbers in, look at 22 after, starting with Dawn with number 85. So make sure you go from there and don't duplicate any numbers, please.
All right. So we're going to draw the Debo card first, then CMC, then Jerry. Let's draw. This is for Debo. 93.
Okay. Let me see.
CMC. 60. And Jerry. 22.
Okay. I lost track already. What was the first one?
93.
93. So it looks like Dawn won the first one.
Dawn.
Second one was 60, right?
Yep. So
That would
Dawn
be
got Devo.
okay.
Thunder Lane.
Second winner is going to be 49ers Jive.
Dawn. $49ers Jive. Got CMC. CMC Thunder Lane.
And the second one was 22, right?
Yep.
That winner goes to Donald Johnson.
Donald Johnson. It's Jerry. Will to win. Congrats, everybody. Congrats. Let me get his name on here. All right. Score predictions.
Okay.
I'm sticking with my same one from last night, which is 34-20. Bashar had 25-19, and Ryan had 31-24.
Okay. I don't think we hit 30 this week. Just have a feeling. I'm gonna say.
There's Melissa saying she should have won that card.
No, you had 25, but you're over, Melissa. So you're up. The number was 22. You had 25. Donald had 19. You know the rules. You guys are both 3 apart, but he's under.
Yep. What's up, Peter?
What's up, Pete? I don't think we hit 30, so I'm gonna say 49ers 28, Eagles 23. Give them their second loss of the season.
Nice. Let's see. Steve-O 32-20. 32-20. 9-0.
Huh.
I hope not.
Man, that'd be a
that's a shitty game to be having on my birthday, man.
Man, I hope you have better luck than me, because we played the Vikings on my birthday and I thought it was a for sure win and we lost. Yeah. So we need to go 50% from the field here. We need them to get that W on your birthday.
Donald Johnson says 28-14. Melissa says 28-14. Don 34-15. Pete says 35-32. Jive 24-17. Dina 28-21. Snapple Facts 27-24.
Okay.
Ooh, Moody kicks a 60-yard field goal in the rain.
You know why Pete says that? He's a Wolverines fan. He has that trust in Jake Moody. Hey Pete, here's what you know. I went to the Purdue Michigan game a couple weeks ago in Michigan, and I'm glad I went, man. It was my first time going to a Wolverines game, and I got to go to their first game in the big house. And man, Miriah, you want to talk about a stadium? Seats 110,000.
Wow.
And when I was there, it was parent night too, when me and my lady went, and we're like, man, this and that. And then so if you ever guys, I mean, I know you're not a Wolverines fan, right? But if you ever get the chance, if you get down there, you go downtown Ann Arbor, the whole town is dressed in Michigan gear. Like even the workers, you go to a restaurant, the workers are dressed in Wolverine stuff. And we did the walk. We went to the walk to go down to the stadium. I mean, every single house on the street had a party. Like it was one of the best experience I've had in my life. It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I always like watching the college games and shit. Like it always seems like such a vibe in those, real football towns like that. Like you said, like they go all in.
Oh
like
my God.
They live and breathe like college football.
Yeah.
Like,
now, like the NFL, Just good tailgate and stuff like that too, but it's nothing like the college atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it's funny too because the Wolverines on fourth down for the opponent, they'll say, "Okay, it's fourth down for the University of Purdue," and then they'll do this tomahawk thing, and they'll go 1, 2, 3. You suck. It's funny. They say you suck to the opposing team on fourth down. It's hilarious.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. Closing thoughts.
I pretty much said it all. We control our own destiny. We can't worry about other teams. I mean, of course, that's what we want. I'm not saying we can't root for other teams to win, but we made our bed. We got to lay in it. We lost some games, out of character. Now we have to just go out and take our own business. We need to go out there and make it hard on the Eagles. There are 2 games ahead of us. We go in there, we take care of business Sunday. That'll put 'em 1 game ahead with them still having to go to Dallas. Who's going to be a tough game. They have a pretty hard. They pretty have a tough schedule remaining. They've had a gauntlet. Seriously, like they went through. They had the Cowboys, they had the Chiefs, they had the Bills, and now they have us, and then they have the Cowboys again. Like they're tough, and I get it. We want the other teams to win, but we can't be sitting here like, oh man, you suck, Buffalo. You should do. No, we need to go out there and take care of business and make it hard on them. And then two, I hate to say this, I want them to. Want it to for us to win first, so we can gain some ground on them, and I want them to be sweating a little bit going into Dallas. I'm hoping they lose 2 in a row. Let us
Yeah.
give them that work, and then they go into Dallas, and Dallas give them that work. You know what I'm saying? And that'll put us a tiebreaker. If we end the season with the same amount of losses, we're gonna take our own business. The tiebreaker will be us ahead of them because one, we beat them, and two, our division record would be better. So we need to. That's all. That's all I'm asking for. Go out there on one of my co-hosts' birthday. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all didn't do it on mine.
Yeah. Yeah, like that'll be so heartbreaking to lose to that team out of all teams on my birthday. Like when the schedule first came out and I seen like that game lined up perfectly on my birthday, I'm like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Out of all freaking games, like we couldn't have played some shitty old team, But like the real thing that I had to say to everybody is if you're going to the game, be safe, please. We know how rowdy, how crazy their fans get. They'll be throwing shit at you and hitting you and all this shit. So please just be safe. Make sure you guys stay together. We know that the faithful travel well, and I'm sure that, they'll travel well to this game as well. But, just make sure you stay in a good situation. We don't want to, hear about anything bad happening to anybody.
Yeah, it can be very dangerous.
And
These
then
fans
if
are
it's
crazy.
raining, like I just hope, we don't. This 2 weeks in a row we've lost, a guy for the season, Huff, and then Odom back-to-back games. So like I just really hope, we can get through this game not only with the dub but also getting out healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And we know, obviously little injuries happen, this and that, but like just no freaking season-ending injuries, shit like that. And yeah, that's all really I had to say. I'll be back tomorrow at 3 with Steph Sanchez for the 2 Goats show. And then I will be celebrating my anniversary and birthday. So
that's awesome.
I will be gone.
You guys going to like any restaurants or do anything special? You're gonna cook a meal at home? What do you guys plan on doing? Or is it a surprise?
No, I haven't decided where I want to go eat yet. I've been because I like if I pick something too ahead, then like I don't know if then when the day comes I'm gonna be wanting that.
Oh my God, that's funny. Are you one of those? So to answer Don's question real quick, yeah, I saw the Oregon Ducks give Oregon State that work. I looked at the standings. You guys are still 5th. I think you guys should be 4th. I think you guys are a little bit better than Florida State. But time will tell. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, these playoff games. I don't know who the Pac-10 championship is, or Pac-12, I should say. Sorry now. But I know the Big Ten. Even though Michigan's number 2 in the country right now, Michigan still has to go and take care of business this weekend against Iowa, who has a great defense. So yeah.
Yeah. Joey, I see you. Appreciate you coming through. Yeah. Chat. Appreciate all of you guys. Much love. Regardless, even if you're not going to the game, be safe out there. There's always some crazy shit going on.
Yeah.
And like I always say, I want you guys to be back here next week talking with us. So please stay safe, keep your family safe. Much love, family. Appreciate you guys all being here. Please like this video. Tell your people so we can try to get the subscribers up. It's greatly appreciated. Share with your homies. And yeah, we'll see you. Us two will see you guys next week. And I will see you back here tomorrow with Steph Sanchez. We're out of here.
Take care, fam.